Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Excuse my voice. Got some kind of flu going on, but we've got to do this. This is the Life Signatures Radio daily show where we talk about purpose, productivity, and resilience, or anything in between that is related to either purpose or to productivity or to resilience. Those are the things that we discuss on a daily basis for quite some time now. Right now, we are in the middle of a series. We're talking about self-deficiency. It's quite a long series, actually, if you ask me. We started it kind of like 15 episodes back, and we're still going strong. But we're talking about self-deficiency. We looked at its manifestations in the previous episodes. Now we're talking about how we can learn to handle self-deficiency, and we've been doing that in the past 2 or so episodes. Today we're going to continue doing the same, so stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
So even as we continue doing this, let me just do a recap for you. Let me tell you what we've covered so far when it comes to overcoming self-deficiency. We have already spoken about one of the ways you can be able to do this. We saw that if we can reclaim our identities, that's the first thing. Reclaiming our identities, not letting the environment, the experiences, the words that people are speaking to us, not letting those things define our identity, and looking at reclaiming the identity and refusing to accede to what these things are telling us. Someone tells you you're stupid and you say yes and amen. No, we said you refuse those things. Your environment you're living in doesn't determine that you are a wealthy person or you're gonna get well and so on and so forth. You say no, this is temporary. You are not a prisoner of the environment. You're not a prisoner of people's words. You're not a prisoner of your experiences. Those things are temporary, and you refuse for them to have a long-term impact and long-term effect on your self-identity. We talked about that in the previous in the other episode, and now we are going to look at another thing that is going to help us. In fact, yesterday we even talked about this. In the episode yesterday, we looked at one of the other things that can help us to rise above self-deficiency, and we started talking actually about building our own capacity. Self-education, through self-education, building our own capacity. We looked at an example of Peter J. Daniels, who was declared mentally ineducable, and he went out there out of sheer determination and mental toughness. He, without a degree, says that he is blessed that he did not have the misfortune of going to a university, because it allowed him to read extensively and to build his mental capacity, so much so that he is no longer operating, or he no longer operated in self-deficiency. And we're going to continue talking about this. First of all, we say that self-deficiency is an illusion, right? You can see someone who is able-bodied, but they think that they are not capable of doing stuff. It's an illusion because of an inner working. Self-deficiency is working in there in the inner being, and therefore it causes someone to think that they are not capable, to think that they are not deserving, to think that they are not good enough, to think that they are not welcome, to think that they cannot, they will not. But it's just a mental block, a mental shift that needs a paradigm shift that needs to be applied to them. And I tell you, self-deficiency can put you at a great disadvantage. If you look at it carefully, it really is an illusion. It is an illusion. If you look at it carefully, it's an illusion. It's an illusion that you are unable. It's an illusion that you have not the potential that it's needed, that you cannot exert, that you cannot amount to anything. And I firmly believe that every human being alive is so powerful that if they deploy themselves fully, we will literally astound ourselves. And one of the answers to curbing self-deficiency is nothing else but self-education. Educating ourselves. And Jim Rohn told us, I think, is it Jim Rohn who said that formal education will earn you a living, but self-education will make your fortune? And I couldn't agree more. The problem we have worldwide with Jim Rohn's quote is that self-education is not examinable. Right? The problem we have worldwide with Jim Rohn's quote is to focus more on the fortune in the quote. Right? If you are going to go after self-education ostensibly to get a fortune, you might be disappointed. And that's why sometimes we don't do it, because it's not examined. We examine, we do things that we want to pay or we want to qualify. Self-education must first of all obliterate our self-deficiency before even enabling us to get that fortune that we're looking for. In other words, the fortune is a byproduct of overcoming self-deficiency. It's a byproduct of personal development and not the target. Okay? And there are 5 or so reasons why self-education or personal development goes pretty much a long way in stemming the tide against self-deficiency. Today I'm going to deal with just one, and then tomorrow we'll look at the others and so on. The first reason why self-education is a mighty weapon against self-deficiency, it is that it puts you in the driver's seat. If you are put in the driver's seat, what is going to happen to you? All of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, I am in control, I am in charge. And the person who is perpetually in control and in charge assumes a leadership role, and in so doing starts stifling the spirit of self-deficiency and makes it like a non-entity. Right? That's what happens. Control is something so potent, I cannot begin to tell you. And that's why you see very many people fighting for power, because they want control. Control is so potent. Every time someone seems to lose control of their life, their self-deficiency is multiplied 1,000,000 times over. It is cemented. And every time someone regains their control in life, their inner being is being strengthened, and that self-deficiency is being dealt a big blow. So self-education is taking charge of your own growth, charge of your own, by the way, destiny itself. It sends signals to your brain that you are valuable, and that you are needed, and that you are equipping yourself and fortifying yourself. It tells you that you are better today than you were yesterday. And one of the easiest ways to fortify oneself these days is through self-education, building your own capacity, building your own growth. And the more you get it, the more you are dealing severely with your self-deficiency. In today's world, technology has made it so easy, made learning so easy, so available, so ubiquitous, it's just there on your doorstep. For example, if I wanted to find an ebook, all I've got to do is to go to pdfdrive.net, right? And I can even Google. There is so much out there. If I wanted to find information about stocks, sales, marketing, I go to Investopedia, and the information is there readily available. I mean, there is no excuse whatsoever for us to build ourselves up. The point I'm making is that if you found out an area in which you want to grow in your capacity, you wanted to be a good public speaker, I mean, just go to TED or go to YouTube and just Google how to be a good speaker. You find lessons, some of them for free, many of them, millions actually. You're spoiled for choice. And the more you keep developing yourself, you're putting yourself in control. You're telling yourself, I'm in charge of my destiny. I'm in charge of my growth. I'm in charge of my development. There is no way the spirit of self-deficiency will continue lurking around you if you are in charge, especially if you finish some courses. You take a course in public speaking, you finish it. You take another course in advanced public speaking, you finish it. I mean, you look at yourself, you're in control. Where is self-deficiency? Is being battered, it's being beaten, like Arsenal beating someone mercilessly. That was unnecessary. Anyway, but you get my point. Self-deficiency is going to be killed by self-education, because educating yourself makes you a leader of yourself, puts you in charge. There is no way you're going to be in charge for a long period of time and fail to deal with self-deficiency. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. You can always grow. I mean, even if it doesn't happen on day one, the self-deficiency's days are marked, they are numbered. As long as someone is self-educating, as long as someone is self-developing daily. Tomorrow we are going to look at another reason why self-education is a mighty weapon against self-deficiency. But until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.